So I'm not that good segueing into sponsors because I don't have one. But I do believe the MacBook Air is still one of the best MacBooks for a large demographic of people who want macOS, and why I'm choosing the Air even though I am a professional, even though this machine is just going to be to edit videos for this channel and other small tasks, and why I'm not choosing the MacBook Pro or even the Mac Mini. Also, this is the 7 GPU variant of the MacBook Air. Now, I'm sure you've watched videos on the Pro and the Air, so I won't bore you with technical details and performance difference, but in summary, the Pro is a better machine, but not by much. It's only when you really start to push these machines, and I mean really start to push these machines, but from my own experience, there's virtually no difference between the two. I'll briefly touch on the physical differences later in the video. But going back to the performance metrics of what people see in other videos, I feel like people are panicking about their current machines and laptops and rushing to try and get M1 laptops because of the price and value you're getting is just incredible, especially in a design this thin and light. First, I want to talk about my YouTube journey and how I ended up choosing the MacBook Air. So I recorded everything on iPhone 6s and edited everything on this, MacBook Pro 2012 in iMovie at the beginning of the year for about 100 subs. It was honestly a fantastic experience. Everything was just super smooth. Then I guess I got the creator inspiration or itch and wanted to produce more and better content. So then I decided to start shooting in 4K on my iPhone 10 and went through the agonizing pain of rendering videos and editing on my old MacBook Pro 2012. It would sometimes take me till like 3 or 4 a.m. to finish editing a video, which is kind of crazy to say. Then Apple released the iPad Pro, and I started using it, and I was like, wow, I'm so sorry. I started using this iPad Pro, and I was like, this is incredible. It really felt like my life had dramatically improved just because I was able to do things so much faster with no fan and a super light design. But everyone was saying the software, and I do agree that the software is really hard to use as your main machine. You have to give up a lot. So iPadOS isn't my favorite choice, and Apple did say that their chips would be coming into the laptops by the end of the year, so I needed something in the meantime to keep up my content improvement. Then the new Intel MacBooks came out, and I wanted to give them a chance. And those machines are still incredible, but for me, there would be times in iMovie where I would still have to go outside and play beach ball with my MacBooks, which was really annoying at times. Now, despite me posting videos of me recommending the iPad Pro, it always seemed like people didn't understand the capabilities of how far the iPad Pro could go because of the OS, but the concept behind it is what stood out to me. So then I set off on my journey to build myself a Hackintosh. I don't know if you guys can see this. And the reason why I built this machine, it's not even on anymore, it has a 3900X is because I'm not paying the Apple tax for an iMac or a Mac Pro. Plus, it can also double as a great Windows machine. So my Hackintosh started off pretty well, but then there would be times where it still wanted to play beach ball here and there, which was annoying. And then the M1 Max finally came out, and I tried them, and it was like a huge wave of nostalgia hit me. I was editing 4K as if it was 1080p on my old MacBook, and I couldn't stop grinning. And even to this day, like using it now, it puts a smile on my face, and I can't comprehend how it's able to do this. Now, back to the Air and why I chose it. Went a little bit long there on the story, but if you made it this far, a sub and like is greatly appreciated. So I love the chassis design overall on the MacBook Air over the Pro just because it's a more comfortable typing experience, which with this wedge-shaped design. Performance aside, the only way I can describe the Air and the Pro and the shift to M1 is it reminds me of driving a Tesla or a electric vehicle for the first time. Now, it wasn't until I got back in my car and I turned it on and I was like, you know what? My car kind of sucks. And then I started to notice things that I didn't notice before, like how loud the engine was and how there was a lack of speed when I was pressing on the accelerator, how archaic it felt just to drive the car, the constant vibration from the motor. The only problem was I was a college student back then and the Model 3 wasn't out and there was no way I could afford a Model S. So moving over to the M1 Air and Pro, it was like the same feeling. Like I never realized how loud my old machines were because my brain, I guess, just got used to drowning out the sound over many years. How the harder I pushed the machines, the louder they would get, the hotter they would get. How the performance would start to degrade over time. And I'm smiling again because it's like, also by far the best honeymoon phase on this channel for a laptop. There's just something about using a machine that's quiet. It just gives me more room to think, as crazy as that sounds. Like my brain isn't trying to actively mask the machine that my noise is making and having me consciously ignore it. I just have more thinking space in my brain and I just feel more relaxed day to day. And on top of that, with the performance jump, I just get more stuff done quickly. Okay then, so why the Air over the Pro? Doesn't the Air thermal throttle, perform slower, no fan, worse screen, worse speakers, etc.? You're a YouTube professional, get the Pro, right? Or better yet, since I have a keyboard and mouse, why don't I just get the Mac Mini? It's way cheaper and value for your money. So here's what I'll say. I value portability and that additional cost of being able to just pick up and go and resume my work elsewhere is great and healthy for me. So the Mac Mini is out of the question. The extra $300 to me is worth it, and it's only $200 with the education discount. So I would say the Air is the Model 3 and then the Pro is like the Model S with like the fancy stuff sprinkled on top. But in terms of the performance, the Pro will keep on going longer. Now, I actually love the touch bar. It's amazing to me. The extra 100 brightness of nits is great. The microphone quality is better. The speakers have better dynamic range. The chassis looks more robust and professional. Now the thermal throttling issue. Here we are once again. So even when the MacBook Air thermal throttles, whenever it is, I can still edit my 4K videos for this channel flawlessly. Despite it thermal throttling, it's still performing better than pretty much any 13-inch MacBook before it. So then why would I spend an extra $300 for the Pro? Like I'm seeing other reviewers editing in 10-bit, 4K, 8K, RAW, ProRes, HDR, and it's still able to slice through it like butter. And I'm over here like, I don't even know what bitrate I'm recording at. I just hit the red button on my iPhone and airdrop it and start editing. I'm not editing cinema quality videos and I'm not trying to be a nominee for the Global Globes. I'm just talking to an iPhone and hope more people than my parents watch my videos. Sure, the fan helps, but when switching over to the Pro to edit my videos, I had the exact same experience as the Air. And for me, it's just not worth that extra money, and that money can be better spent on something else. If you're a regular consumer, I would say just spend the extra money enjoying yourself. Now more specifics on what I like about the Air. Now before in an earlier video I made, I said that the dictation button is kind of useless, but as a person who uses it on their phone and now using it on my laptop, now that there's a dedicated button, it's honestly a great way for me to respond to comments and it helps me just get down my thoughts faster. Also, like I said before, the dedicated do not disturb, by far the best button on this keyboard. Everything I mentioned before, like the camera, speaker, microphone, display, is better on the Pro, but the Air is good enough for what it offers to me, and it's not that much more substantial than the Pro. So overall, in terms of the value of when I'm getting out the MacBook Air, it's perfect. Now, the last topic of discussion is first generation, and I too said that once second generation comes out, I'll jump ship. So claims have been made that these laptops will be the worst performing chips very soon, and you should just wait. And here's what I'll say. Apple has been making their own chips for a very long time, especially if we focus on their iPhones and iPads. I know they have chips inside their watch, their AirPods, Apple TV, HomePod, etc. But those chips aren't chips. Those chips aren't really designed for eating through productivity apps daily. So I don't really count those chips in terms of their life cycle support. Also, it's not like Apple is making a laptop or MacBook for the first time or did a drastic change to the design, which some people might rip their hair over, but personally, I'm okay with it for first generation. For the people that have Mac machines that are $3,000 to $10,000, should you go out and buy M1? I would say no. Probably should wait till the M series trickles up, or I guess trickles down to your Mac lineup for your product. So that's my review-ish of the MacBook Air. And if you guys want a more in-depth video of the Air or Pro, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe even a video of the tech I bought during Black Friday, even though Black Friday is technically just an early Cyber Monday, and early Cyber Monday is basically leftovers from Black Friday. And then when Christmas comes around, it's basically just another Cyber Week. And then when the new year rolls around, it's pretty much another Cyber Week. Anyway, the model I'm going forward with is going to be the 16GB RAM model with 256GB of storage. And Apple does say that it should be coming before December 23rd. So it's gonna be an early Christmas present for me. So when second gen comes out, depending on performance, someone else will have my machine. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate every sub, like, and comment. Hope to see you in the next one. Much love.